Alright guys, we are live. This is Driver. Going to be doing something a little bit different. As you can see on the screen here, we're going to do Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. This was one of my requests from other people. And why is it doing that? There it goes. Sorry about that. It was working a minute ago. So anyways, I was asking folks about games they'd like to see, and this was one of them. So went ahead and just stuck to a profile I've already got going. Didn't really want to start from scratch. I can do that, get a little bit more in depth, but not really a how-to. Just we're gonna play a little bit and see what everything looks like. So let's see here. Ain't what I wanted. Let's grab us an order. Alright, so for those that aren't familiar, this is part of the story in here. I can't remember how many of them there are. But you do specific things, you always end up having to fix them 100%. So, we're going to grab one of those. Alright, so we're going to leave this little hot rod sitting here where it's at. They call it a Typhoon in here, but we all pretty much know what that is. What we're going to do is we're just going to grab a plain Jane order. You can only do one story mode of those at a time. So we're just going to grab a regular order. And this guy's got some issues with his ride. Sometimes it does not tell you what the issue is. Let me see if I can get into an angle where y'all can read that. So it does not know what it is. Gearbox faults. Easiest way to do this, there's a couple of ways you can go about it. Me, I would just tear this transmission out. Typically a gearbox fault is going to be in here. Another way to do it is through testing it out on the track. And I might get into more of that later, so let's throw this thing onto a rack. And I'm going to do that. Sorry if my movements are a little bit quick. I try not to be too fast. Okay, sometimes the starter cannot be removed under. You got to do it up here. The car is already up here or lower down, so it's easier just to grab it there at that point. Let's see here. Grab our tranny here. Oh, I just realized I forgot to do something. Hold on 1 second here. Forgot to turn the sound back on in the game. Sorry about that. Yeah, now we got some sounds. Alright. Hopefully the sounds aren't too loud. I might have to tone those down a little more. I am going to tone that down just a notch. Oh, and I wonder it brought the sound back up for me. I'm going to try 25%. 20% because it's enough. Let's see. Alright. Once you pull the part off, as you pull the parts, you see the damage that it has. If you hover over it, doesn't. You can also do exam mode, which doesn't tell me much on what we're doing here. Oops. That should be our parts. And there you go. Gearbox, flywheel, clutch plate, pressure plate, and the release fairing. So depending upon what level you're at on here, and I'm up at max level, you have this repair bench right here. As you skill up and skill up your tools, which would be over here, this is one of your boxes. So as you bring these levels up, will improve things you do. I get 50% off on junkyards because of that one there. I can examine 20 parts anywhere I'm at. So I always start by trying to repair what I have available. Now it didn't say anything about drive shafts, so we're not going to mess with that or the starter. On a regular order like this here, there's usually a percentage of what parts they want. So he wants at least a minimum of 45% parts. Now I've noticed you put 45% parts on there, sometimes that doesn't work. What I usually do is I just make a quick little note on a notepad. That way I don't have to keep going back and looking at this order. So at this point you got two options. You can go buy brand new parts, or what we're going to do is we're going to look in our warehouse and we're going to see what we have. So this is going to be all gearbox parts. I have my warehouse is organized to similar to this here. We'll look at all gearboxes, and what we'll do is we'll just kind of scroll through. I'm going to do this by name. So like I have clutch plate there. I got quite a few clutch plates actually, if I'm thinking correctly. Yeah, let's take this 51%er. We can sell that, that's junk. Need a pressure plate. I tend to hoard quite a bit of parts, but as you can see, they can be pretty beneficial. We'll go ahead and grab that one, I guess. I usually go a little as low as I can go, but I don't want to bore y'all with that. So, there's one of those. Go find us a flywheel. There's flywheels. That'll work. And we need a gearbox. Now I might be out of those gearboxes. I've had to use quite a few of them for my builds. So, and I'll get to that here in just a second here. Let me go ahead and at least find the transmission. Oh, we do have some. Now here's what's cool is that transmissions are rebuildable. And can't remember if the clutch plate is. I know a lot of these clutch parts aren't. Flywheel's not, which I don't get in a sense. I can work on cars myself. So we're just going to grab this. No point in doing a bunch of repairs. So the cool thing is we got everything we need. We can bolt everything back up. Get this customer on the road. Once you start out in this game, if you've never played this, you will have to pretty much do orders like this, or the story orders. That way you can make a little bit of money. I've got a fair chunk of cash up there, but I'm not loaded one bit. Alright. And you see here, now we all have green check marks. So that order is done. Didn't cost us anything, so we already had parts laying around. Funny, it says I spent $852. I don't know where I spent that much money. But anyhow, that was a quick $1,900. That gets it out of the way. Now what I was talking about a second ago, over on my third left here, this is a car I own. I have a small parking garage full of cars. And as you can see, this little turd needs a lot of work. It's missing parts. I have not touched this car. Actually I did. I did a interior clean on it, so we go around this side here with so I cleaned the interior, and then I also did the welding, which kind of cleaned up the main body parts that you cannot replace. So like this fender still needs to be done, the hood, we're missing a front clip, we're missing that door. Windows are not repairable, any kind of lights are not repairable, so it's missing tail lights. So I have not really touched this car yet. I threw it up here on the rack, and this is where I stopped one night, or one day of my playing. So, but we might get to that one a little bit later. Maybe we'll do a fresh build on it. Part of it, most of it, I don't know yet. We'll kind of test the waters, see how things are going at that point. So that other order was pretty easy. Let's see what we got laying around here. Now this has got a lot more stuff. Now see, you got a time up here when this stuff expires. This one expires in 15 seconds. Needs running gear controls, brakes, body parts, and paint. Heck, let's just take that before it expires. See what this behemoth looks like. Not horrible. Looks like it's been driven in New York. So painting is always the last thing I do. I always start with working on it. So general running gear control is usually suspension style parts. Brakes is pretty well obvious. A lot of brake parts there needs to be done. So what we're going to do, instead of just throwing on a rack and just stripping the parts, we'll make it a little bit easier on ourselves and get an idea of what we need to fix. So to do that, we're going to move this car into my test path. And that test path is located over here. Nice little double door set. It always closes those doors up when you log out. We just hit this computer panel and we say yes. Pretty much you do it just kind of like the same way you would drive any game. Accelerate when it tells you to. Brakes. This is testing the front brakes right now. Accelerate up. That's testing the rear brakes. That's testing the front suspension. It'll clunk it around a little bit. And we'll scoot back up more. And what's kind of cool is you look at the diagram there in the top left, and you kind of see what you need to do. I wish the screen would not come up right there, but so that front suspension's good, that suspension's good, but we got the other corners to do and a lot of brake work to do. So, and as you can see, it gives you kind of a breakdown of what's good and what isn't good. So that gives us a pretty good start of what we got to do. So we're going to take this double, actually let's take a look real quick. So now, as you can see, we now have discovered broken parts. Same way here. Now when it comes to body parts, it'll always tell you what they want changed. And it will tell you to spray the color of whatever. This one's, excuse me, factory paint. I got the hiccups for some reason. So, let's go toss this on our rack. And so starting out with brakes, see this brake booster is 100%. You may have a hard time reading that, but down at the bottom left, about right here, it's green, so that's 100%. What was they wanting this fixed at? Oh wow, they want this thing almost fixed brand new. 99. Well, might as well just buy brand new parts and be done with it. I can repair parts to new, but like this here, we don't know what the condition is. But ABS is obviously part of your brake system, so let's go ahead and yank that. And that's one shiny looking motor, isn't it? You can click on parts to kind of move around if you're not familiar with this game. Good thing is we ain't got no motor work to do on this, so that makes our life a little bit easier. There's some suspension problems. Probably what we're going to do is we're going to do suspensions kind of at one corner. This corner needs to be done, and it looks like that rear corner there needs to be done, that right rear. And you can see that bad brake caliper right there. It's at 13%. You have to be careful though, and make sure you kind of put parts where they kind of go back. And I don't mean, you know, like putting a spark plug in a spark plug hole. You can't screw that up, but you can cross parts. So, for instance, this shock tower, it's at 100% anyways. But if they wanted 100% parts, but this wasn't, and you put that on this side and put something else over here, it'll pop up and say the car's worse than it started. So we got that ABS pump. So while we're got it on the ground, now see, I can fix this 100%. And let's see what we have in the warehouse if we got a control module. This is an alphabetical order right now, so I got all these calipers. So we don't have an ABS pump, so there's two ways of going about that. You got this handy dandy fancy computer here. Look at that. Isn't that a beast? Man, that looked like something I had back in the 90s. Or we can go fancy, and you just gotta make sure you're not clicking on something else. Right click, and you have a tablet. I'm gonna go to part store. And you know what? I don't know which of the two I needed. So here's what's cool about on here as well. So parts notes is empty, our inventory. I'm gonna sort that by name as well. So we need an ABS pump. You can right click it, and you look at the top left of my screen right here, it added that to my list, my little shopping cart list that I need. Then I can go back in here. There's a little tab here to the side, and you can pull that out, ABS pump. If you're buying a bunch of parts at one time, it can help you. Nothing worse than buying the wrong part and then going, oh crap. Get these parts tossed on here. And then we're going to kick this bad boy up on the lift. Alright, see that switch. Look at my inventory. We're going to sell that. That ain't no good. We're going to first concentrate on suspension. We're going to start with this corner. Oh. Why is it doing that to me? What am I missing here? Oh. Wasn't on the right thing. Alright, so unfortunately we are going to have to do the brakes on this side. We might as well do it while we're here. There are a couple of components we're going to have to remove from the other side of the vehicle. But we're not going to break the suspension all the way down on the other side. We are going to break this side all the way down. Let me tell you right there, it needs a caliper. Pads. And they call it a disc, but I call it a rotor. Going to need all the suspension stuff out. It's going to be replaced except that. So, oops. Wow, I clicked on the wrong thing. Doesn't take long to do that. So, see how it's signified in yellow? It can't be removed yet. Neither can this. Now, it looks like that rubber bushing is toast. It is. That rubber bushing is good. So, let's do some clicking and get to the other side here. We're going to get this wheel out of our way. We're going to leave these brakes intact for right the moment. All we're going to do is pull a couple of suspension components. And that was a brand new part we pulled. So this here has got to be replaced. And then we need to pull these parts here and get that steer rack out. So that's the left front corner. Minus a couple pieces from this side. So, like I always do, we're just going to go over here and we're going to see nothing to work with. So that means everything in our inventory is junk. We need to pull this suspension apart, the spring. So, separate. All those are bad. Alright, so we got our parts. I always check and see what I have in my warehouse. It just makes things a lot easier. Give me 1 second, folks. sorry about that. Alright, so we ain't got to worry about them tires, which is good. We do have some brakes on that driver's side. We might as well go ahead and fix those. Calipers can be repaired, so it doesn't really matter what we grab, but I think I saw a newer one. There's an 86, there's a 100 right here. We don't even have to fix it, it's ready to go. We cannot repair the disc brakes, and we cannot repair the brake pads. I know I don't have brand new ones, so we're just going to leave them where they're at. And then we're going to go to suspension and see what we got laying in suspension parts. I probably won't have a whole lot, but I probably will have some pieces that I can use. Having spare parts like this does help you. It does save you a lot of money. It is time consuming. So on a build like this, I probably could have just went ahead and bought all new parts, because that's what I'm going to need. But at the same time, I'd like to use what I already have. Can't build those. Front shock absorber caps. I don't remember. What we're going to do is we're going to grab one. You can't repair everything, unfortunately, and some things that look obvious to repair you cannot repair at all. So like I said, I've got a lot of parts in here. Here we go, there's the caps. So if they're repairable, I can repair with that one. I'm going to sell that one. Front springs aren't, knuckles are, so let's find one of those. Front steering knuckle A, we can fix that. Now repairing these is not always 100% successful. Can't believe you cannot fix these, the sway bars, but we can do a hub. That one's already closer to being fixed. Can't do the rods at all. Can do lower suspension arm. I should have just done this from the start. That is probably annoying for y'all to watch. Oh, there we go. These are repairable. We'll get rid of that. Can't repair rubber bushings, end links. Everything else we are going to have to buy. Farm Chick, thank you for the host. How are you doing tonight? Oh, come on. This thing froze on me. There we go. So there we go. We can repair this stuff, but we can't repair that one cap, I think. Saves us a little money, not a lot. I'm doing good, Farm Chick. Had a nice big dinner, so I'm nice and fat and happy. I figured I'd get on here and do something a little bit different. Someone wanted to see me play this game, so I'm playing this game. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, sorry about that. I keep getting text messages. You've never seen this game, huh, Farm Check? Ah, This is actually a pretty interesting game. It can be boring to some, but you can basically completely repair cars. We've got this side of the car tore apart on the front end, and we got some brake work to do on it. You can do work orders. That's another work order back there. You can pick up work orders like this. They'll kind of give you an idea of what's wrong with them. Or you can go buy junked out cars like I've got sitting right here and fix them up. Lower that down where you can actually see it. So you can basically rebuild this whole car right here for the most part. Body work, fenders, replace like the windows, the lights, rebuild the motor. I mean, the motor, it'll come all the way down into pieces. Everything from piston rods and caps and, you know, every single little push rod. So like, just an example, this one's missing all the push rods right here. The push rods are gone, the rocker arms are gone, but you can take this head off. I'm not going to because it'll interfere with the other order. I try to keep my parts separated. It is pretty cool. It's a lot different. So let's see here. I repaired some parts. I forgot to do something. Always got to clear these notes. So we're just going to have to buy a few things here. 3 rubber bushings. That pretty well does that. And then we pull our little fancy tablet back out. Oh, Farm Chick, you probably get a kick out of this. When you first start the game, you don't have that tablet. That's a skill up you have to earn. But check out this behemoth of a computer. Check that out. Pretty sure we can't play Farm Sim on that one. Got a radio. Let's see. Oh, I'm not gonna turn the radio on. The radio you can turn on and have music, but it's probably copyrighted, so we're not gonna use it. We'll use my music. So anyhow, let's get our parts all bought up. Where did my notes go? Old like you? You're not that old, are you? Let's try this again. There's our little list up here. We're gonna need that. Cool thing is you can do a little search right here, a little search bar. And I just use short text to search what I need to search. There it goes. Shock absorber A. The cap. Spring. One inner tie rod, one outer tie rod. Just did outer tie rods on my pickup truck. Three of these little bushings. Steering rack, and search as a sway bar front end link A. Alright, well now that we broke the bank account doing that, now we get to mount everything back up. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that side apart anyhow. Put this rubber bushing back in before I forget about it. That was one that had to be replaced. Get our steering rack back in here. Whoa, hold up. We didn't get a front sway bar. Let me go get that. That was my mistake there. You know, 56 isn't too horrible there, Farm Chick. I'm a little bit behind you. I'm only 38. 56 isn't that old. Alright, let's try that again. Oh, I know what I forgot to do as well. We gotta put this together. So before we get too far. Let's get all these new parts bolted up. Hold on a second. Why do people send me long text messages? Sorry about this. Normally I don't deal with these text messages while I'm doing this. Alright, I really apologize. Maybe the text messages will quit. I don't know. Excuse me. So, Farm Chick, you working on racking up the miles again? That all bolted up. Let's try and look at that bushing right there. There we go. I can see what I'm doing here. Oh, we don't want to put that tire on yet. Let's go back into unmount mode. That rubber bushing's at 100%, that one's at 100%, so those are good. Clear our parts notes and then we're going to clear this inventory. A little noisy doing it this way, but it clears it all out. Makes it easier to know what you've took off that's bad and what you need to buy. The 3,000-mile run. Wow, that sounds like a good ride. Big Kirk there's going to challenge you a little bit, huh? How's it going there, Big Kirk? Big Kurt, sorry. I can't speak today, apparently. Alright, that's all that needs to be taken off from this part here. Go ahead and get this figured out. Good deal, man, good deal. Sometimes this loading screen for your little warehouse takes a while. It's always a good time to grab a drink. I've noticed that it seems like it gets slower and slower the more times you click in and out of the warehouse. Just in time. Well, that's about all we can fix. Got to buy the rest. One of those now. That's actually pretty easy. A couple of brake parts. If you're watching this to learn and I'm going a little too fast, let me know and I'll slow down. I kind of get into a roll and just go. Alright. That end is done. Now we gotta do the back of this thing. I gotta remember to put that part back in the warehouse. I'm not gonna go there just to do it now. Hold on a second again, guys. I'm sorry. My text message is going off. Sorry about that. I guess I have to explain it a few times in text message. Alright, this whole side's got to get tore apart, and all new suspension put on this one. Oops, did that too fast. Oops, we forgot to pull the hub bearings. So yeah, this kind of goes into depth pretty good, if you ask me. See it. There we are. Oh man, I gotta pull the tire just to get to that one part. Me being the stubborn fool I am, I probably would try to pull that part without pulling the tire. Alright. So we got that side stripped, that corner. No items to work with again. Okay. Well, I've been just talking to myself. I just realized that my audio was muted. Or my microphone. I don't remember muting it, but I did. So I apologize for that. Alright, all we gotta do is paint it. Let's give it a squirt of paint. And it wants factory color. Don't look too bad. And that is one completed vehicle. That was a little bit longer of a project. So we made almost $30,000 just doing that much work. Not bad. Not bad for a day's wage. Let's see here. I'm trying to decide if I should do another one of those little work orders or go ahead and just fix that car just sitting there. The customer probably would like to have his wheels, wouldn't he? So let's do that, and then we'll see where we're at here on time. So, I see suspension parts in this. Drum wheel cylinderized brakes. We're going to tear the whole motor down. That's a piston. We're going to do body work and repaint it, and we'll give it an oil change. But no filter, oddly. Okay, so let's check our inventory. Oh, we can check this out. We got a case right here. Let's sell this other junk out of here real fast. Let's grab this case and see what we got. You always usually get 3 parts or sometimes a map and a part, and the map are barns. And these require quality parts. You want to put this stuff on, stuff that you're gonna rebuild and sell, like that other car I have on the rack. So let's go store all that. Let's move this first. I hate to keep going in and out of this warehouse. And let's wait for our long loading time here. Now this job, I do know with it being a story mode, it will require all brand new parts. So, for the most part, I don't think we're going to go back in here. Let me see what we got for parts here. That's brakes. We're already here, so might as well get that junk out. Body parts. This is the one that usually takes the longest to load as body parts. That's why I avoided it earlier. Because I've got a slew of parts in there. I try to keep this organized as best I can. Someday, right? I can understand this having to load it like the first time you've been back in game, like first time you've logged back in. But every time you go into the warehouse, it shouldn't do this throughout the game. It gets longer and longer. And a lot of it's because I have so many parts in there, but still kind of defeats the idea of having a warehouse in a sense. Get rid of that rim, and that's it. And then we can start working on this car, figure out what's wrong with it, what we gotta do. How long it's gonna take to get out of that warehouse? Wow, quicker than I thought. Alright, so let's double check our inventory's clean. So I'm gonna do this the basic way, you know, kind of like how some people would do it. So we can do examine mode. We see that that's bad. Only see so many parts at a time, and it may not require us to do this filter here. So, and then we can also do examine tools. I also call diagnostic tools. So let's check the tires. Fuel pressure test. That usually tells us if the carburetor's messed up, I think. Fuel filter, I know. Carburetor's decent. Fuel pump is done. That's in the tank. This does not have an OBD port, which I thought so, but I forgot to try. Compression tester. Engine needs to be complete. So this motor is missing something here. So we can't even do this on the test path to test the suspension because it won't start. So down here we're missing some pulleys. The coil needs a battery in it. I got a battery. We may be pulling parts out of the warehouse, unfortunately. So, but let's take a look and see if this thing discovered anything we didn't already know. But we know it needs piston rings, so we got to strip this motor down all the way. So, and that looks like a bad part anyways. Let's go ahead and grab it off there. Start yanking parts. About all you can do. Get the radiator out of our way. This one's going to be a lengthier project than the last one. Wrong one. That was my fault. Well, there's the dipstick. It has oil in it, so we have to make sure we drain it. If we don't, we'll make a mess. And then there's a big cleanup fee, we'll call it. It's gonna be done on the car. That's one side of the block. So, we got almost everything up here that we can pull for now. Alternator out. I'm not sure if we're going to be pulling the whole block yet. Can't tell what the condition of it is yet. Alright, so, up in the air it goes. So for right now, we're not going to worry about the suspension yet. We're just going to work on this motor. We do have some things we'll have to take off to access certain things, obviously. We're going to need to pull the transmission, which is going to require dropping everything from back there. Okay, we can see this. Almost forgot that. Looks like the cam might be alright. I mean the crank. That drive shaft's going to be done as well. Oh my god, look at that rear end. Doesn't that look like something out of New York City? Or anywhere up north, really. Got everything off down here that we can for now. We got to pull the pistons out of it, which I have to do from up top, and then I have to go back under to pull the crank. not want to zoom in there, but we're here now. Let's go up again, pull the crank, and then we're going to drop it back down so we can yank the motor out of it. I could have done this simpler without having to go up and down, and I could put it right over there on that engine stand. But I like doing it right here because now with the motor out, I know every part that needs to be replaced on the motor. All the motor parts. And on top of that, it's missing crap too, which doesn't help. Look at my inventory real fast. So alternator, for example, I want to see if it needs an alternator, because they're only going to want certain parts. There's no point in spending money on parts you don't have to do. So the alternator's not in there at all. Oops. That's obviously got to be repaired or replaced. Anything in red will. But it don't look like any of the yellow parts are going to need to be done. Because those are all 62%, so they're decent enough shape to be reused. Alright. Any of those garbage. I ain't repairing all that. Let me look here real quick. Because some of this stuff I'm not gonna have. Brake servo I will. Clutch parts no. Drive shaft maybe. Alright, as much as I hate to go in and out of this warehouse, we're gonna go in the warehouse again. Yeah, we do. The brake servo. I guess it's all at the bottom. Quick check. Alright, so these are repairable. Grab one of those, we can repair it to 100%. Definitely have engine parts we need to do. Sorry, this chair creaks a little bit when you lean it back or forward. Might as well sit back and look at the screen while it's loading this. I apologize for the loading screens and stuff, but nothing I can really do about it. It's just slow with the loading. So let's see what we need here. Exhaust manifolds. I can't rebuild them, but maybe I have one already here anyways. Oh, we didn't pull that fuel pump. Oh well. But we know we need one. Where'd it go? Oh, we gotta go buy it back anyway, so. We don't have a good enough exhaust manifold. We are going to grab a fuel pump while we're here because we can fix them. Piston rings are not fixable. Pistons with con rods not rebuildable. Radiators are. Got some radiators right there. Alright, that's all we need out of there for now. Gearbox. Clutch parts, doubt it. It's all minor junk. Parts, more or less. Drive shaft. Now we can. Oops. We don't want that one. We want that one. We can do a drive shaft. Was there anything else? Exhaust brakes? No. Okay. That's all the stuff we can fix. So let's do that. Let's get those parts fixed up. And then our list back down to what we need to buy. Go ahead and fix that pump. Ooh, I failed to repair it. That is something that does happen. You can fail to repair something, and it starts out worse than it started. You know, it came out worse than it started. So let's see here. Look for things I repaired. I don't remember if I sold the junk parts. We'll worry about the fuel pump in a little bit. We'll have to go back in the warehouse anyways. We do suspension work, I guess. Alright, so the alternator was good. Clear our notes. Exhaust manifolds. Just that one. 2 rings, 2 more, 1 more. Looks like the rest of those are pretty good. We don't have to buy a lot of parts, but we just had to tear a lot apart. We need 5 rings. And we need 5 pistons. Hopefully those all go in the same places together in groups. But as far as new, I'll have to show you a little trick that I use. So now we got our new parts. Let's start bolting this stuff up. Engine block. Throw our alternator back on. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt everything up here that I can, then I'll go down to bolt everything up. Ooh, we need a coil. So we're going to delete our list. We're going to add that to our list. We can go and put the cam in. Power steering pump. Radiator was in the way. something else right here I forget is these little clips. They're kind of small and hard to see sometimes. Let's see, we have a radiator. We can go and put that in here. We didn't grab a battery. I'll add that to our list. I have batteries, so we'll get a battery out of warehouse. I'm not going to buy one of those. I've been stocking them for too damn long. And let's go ahead and get the underside put together as much as possible. Get our crank back in here. Zoom in here a little bit. And then puts it where I can't see. Wish I could just put these pistons in from up here, from down here, but you can't. Go ahead and put the transmission all back together. All of our new clutch parts. We're going to leave the drive shaft off. That's everything we can do down here now, so kind of a little bit of a pain in the butt sometimes, but it is what it is. Drink. Alright, so this is one of the parts that can be a little bit tricky. So when you put the pistons in, and when you put piston in, you pick your rings to go with it. Now we had certain ones that had to have new stuff, so what we'll do is we're going to cheat. And what we're going to do is we're going to find first the pistons and see where those go. And see how it lights them up in blue. So on this side here, we'll just count 1, 2, and then 4 is new on the pistons. Now if we go back, go to where we were, uncheck those, and do the rings, it should be the same, but I have had a few that were different. So we know that this here, put new parts in. If you put new parts in the wrong place and put the older part, like this one here, and you put it over here, and you get it all put together, and then you go to complete it, it will not let you complete it. It'll tell you that there is a mistake, and then it's in worse condition than it started, and that's just kind of what you're left with. Just have to pick all the parts as you go. And then what I do after I get done something like this, number one, I want to get rid of all that blue anyways. I double check that everything went where it went. Con rods are all, pistons are in the right place, and the rings are on the right place. If you have one that's not, then you're going to have to try to figure it out. A little bit more tedious, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and throw the head back on. We're going to put everything back on that we have. Where a real nightmare comes in is right here on these heads. So for those that aren't familiar with how a head works, you have 8 rods and 8 rocker arms on each side. So if you've only got to replace, say, 4 of those, it could be mixed match between both sides of the motor. You start putting things in the wrong places and then you really start running into problems. Good thing is we didn't have to do these. That one. Try to stay down here where you can see them. You can see it kind of lights this up a little bit. It kind of puts like a little ghost image of where it goes, what goes there. And you gotta make sure you highlight it and put the bolt up. Hey Baffles, how's it going, man? Sorry I was you know, twisting bolts and whatnot. I'm doing good, man. How you doing? And yeah, yeah, it's it takes you a little while to get used to it. Have you ever done any kind of motor work in real life? Because it's pretty similar. Oops. We'll say this is probably not everybody's cup of tea. Even people that are mechanics, you know, some of them are not gonna like it. Same when it goes in any simulation. Alright, Farm Chick, you have a good night. Hopefully the storms won't be too bad for you, and we'll catch you probably tomorrow. Oh, really, Baffles? Yeah. You know, in a way, if you want to learn, this is one way to learn. It doesn't go into every detail, but for the most part, it's fairly realistic. But like, for instance, like these rocker arms, you know, you got to torque everything. And in here, you don't have to do that, which is good. That would really add realism and time. I guess if it was there, I would probably do it. Yeah, those storms did look pretty bad. We're probably gonna get a case of those tomorrow. I may go to Ohio tomorrow or tomorrow night. I don't know yet. So once I go out there, I don't know how much I'm gonna get on. It's gonna depend upon how my internet reacts. If anything, I'll do some recordings, but I won't be able to upload them. But I'm gonna be doing everything on my cell phone data, so that is probably gonna tax it pretty hard if I sit there and do a lot of stuff online. Alright, Farm Chick, have fun hiding. We'll catch you later. Baffles, did you get any storms there up in your area? Excuse me. Car's only got a double pumper on it. For those that don't know what a double pumper is, twin carbs. Extra horsepower, if it's designed right. Okay, so that's the top of the motor. Let's climb back under it and finish up. Yeah, I figured as much, man. We're gonna be getting that stuff too, I think. cast members in my way. There we go. I'm sure this is probably as much fun as watching grass grow. Oh, we almost forgot the oil filter. That's been bad. Let me see what these text are. Yeah, man, as you can tell, this is kind of hands-on, isn't it? In this project that we're working on, a customer brings this in with parts missing. We don't have this pulley. We don't have that other pulley. So, notes, add notes. And we're gonna add that to our notes. Those were missing. This coil was missing. Kind of doesn't run without it. And a battery. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look at my notes real fast. I know I've got a battery. I'm not sure about the ignition coil. And this here, dude, is the warehouse. Yeah, this is pretty fun at times, man. It really gives you a lot of other things to, you know, something else to do. You know, slow pace, you can work at your own pace. You don't have a time limit on the jobs or anything like that. There's a time limit on the orders that come in if you don't get them on the phone. You got to answer, I'll show you in a second. You got a phone and you get orders that come in, and there's like a time limit of grabbing those before they expire, but it doesn't hurt you none. Once you actually get built up where you've got money and all your levels up and you got all your tools, it's actually easier just to go buy cars and rebuild them. I got one sitting in here to rebuild as well. I've already got 3 that I've already rebuilt and 1 in progress up in my garage, my parking garage. Is that the weirdest thing in the world. Yeah, man, I really like the truck sim. And I also do the farm sim thing too. I just kind of go back and forth between those two the most. This here is something that I'll do when, you know, I just need to kill a little bit of time. I'll sell this stuff here. We don't need this crap in here. We already got all that put up. Alright, so we're going to go hunt my batteries down. Oop, passed them. I have a lot of stuff in this inventory, man. There's our battery. Somewhere down here. Oop, ignition coil. Nope, we don't have an ignition coil, and I know I have pulleys, but they're not going to be new. I got to put new parts on this car. Story mode requires all brand new parts. So, yeah, Farm Sim 17 was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. 19 is still fun, but they changed so much that it really pushed a lot of people away. It even pushed a lot of modders away that actually build the mods. But the one cool thing is mods over there is a whole lot easier to deal with than they are in Truck Sim. Truck Sim, it's almost not even worth screwing with half the time. Let's see. will be one. Need a pulley. Need the. So you gotta watch, like, see the crankshaft pulleys. There's all kind of different ones to pick from. We need the OHV. If you notice up here on my right side, I got a shopping list. I put everything in there that I need. Plain Jane water pump pulley. Where's that at? There it is. We're gonna have to go back in there and get belts. I don't remember what belts this thing needs. Where's that pulley? Oh. Get that on there. That on there. Get a battery in this thing. We need. No, it's clear. Add. Well, I didn't show you. Let me show you around the garage, man. You're interested in this game, man. So, when you start with this game, you don't get a big garage. You get this bay here and that and a door, like one garage entrance. So you can have one vehicle parked about right here, and then you got your lift over here, and then you have the test path over here, which you can do suspension test and brake testing in here. So. You got to put the vehicle in here first. You have a repair bench. Your repairs are pretty crappy in the beginning till you learn what you're doing. To pick up orders, you got two ways to do it. You got a telephone here, or you right-click the mouse and you got a orders here. There's your orders. This is, you know, repair orders from customers. And then when it comes to buying parts, you can either go use this fabulous, fancy high dollar machine. What is that, a Tandy? So you can use this computer to go in the same thing I was going into, or you can just use this tablet, and tablet's a lot easier to deal with. You got a little boom box in here, you can put music on, it has its own in-game music. I can't do it because it's copyrighted, you know, I don't want to get in trouble. You got an engine stand. You don't get all these tools in the beginning. So you got this engine stand here, and I'll get back to it. There's tools. So here's where you pick all your levels up. So when you start, you're over here. You don't have any of this. This is all whited out. And you got to get these skill points up as you level to get, you know, everything you need. You know, like this here is for faster unscrewing, faster installing of parts, and you just go on and on. Like here's the tablet. And yeah, the thing's from the 60s. Got an oil drain pan here. Car has to be lifted up, and you have to, just as an example, we'll put this car back up in the air real fast. You gotta wait till it gets up in the air. You move it, and that's lifter A, and then you have to click it to use it, which it's dry right now. I just had the motor apart, and then you can put it back. If you don't use that, and say you go up under here and you unbolt this oil pan right here and it's got oil in it, it makes a mess, and then you got to pay a cleanup fee. It sucks, but it is what it is. So anyways, and then in the beginning, you know, you got another toolbox here. All these toolboxes are linked. They're just, you know, how to get your skills up. You have a spring puller, which is to get the springs apart and everything. You got a tire changer to break down tires, put tires together, and even a balancer, another box. Then as you get bigger, you get more room in here. This is just decoration, sadly. That's a transmission lift. You got another lifter you get. That's like the first stretch. And then you get this engine crane. So for instance, move equipment, we'll put it in front of lifter C. There's the one I own that I'm fixing to rebuild. So you can use this and you can pull the motor out. Oh, we gotta take the transmission off first, but you get the idea of that. And then once you get that off, you pull the motor, then you go back to that engine stand over here, put the engine on the engine stand, and then you can do everything you want to do to the motor. Well, let's see here. Let's get that out of our way. You can detail cars, which is kind of cool. You can't do it while they're on these lifts. They got to be in those two doors over there. A battery charger, a completely dead battery can be fully charged. And then you have another weld toolbox. You have a welder for doing welding work. And then everything else is just, you know, beauty. This is just to customize the garage. You can give it all kind of crazy looks. Change the floor, the doors, the walls. You can make this thing look all kind of different. So And you got this little room here. After you expand, you got a couple more computers. That's a little bit more modern. We might be able to play a game on that. The other one, you're going to be paying, you know, an Atari game. What was one of the first games that came out? When I keep wanting to say Donkey Kong, that was Atari. But yeah, you got two computers in here. You got a telephone. And then for those customers that are waiting, I forgot where I went. There we are. They got this fancy waiting room up here. Check that out, man. 1980s couches with a flat screen. Look at that old stereo system. That looks kind of cool. There is actually a, well, they call it a Predator, but we know that's a PlayStation. So, and then like I said, you got to expand everything. Here's a paint booth you can put cars into, repaint them. Body work can be done on that repair bench. And here's a dyno room. You can pull cars in here and do dyno tests on them, see how powerful they are. It's pretty cool. And then the last thing is this warehouse, and I'm not going to click on this thing. I've already got it organized and everything, but it takes forever to load in and out because I have so many damn parts. And then if you want to go to like a barn or something like that, you just go to one of the garage doors and just pick where you want to go. And we're at our garage right now. There's a speed track. I don't know what this workshop maps does. I haven't messed with it. There's like an abandoned airport. I don't know. I guess you can go racing out there. There's a junkyard, off-road track, a test track, a car salon, which is actually just a car dealer, an auction place, and then a racetrack. So like for instance, our parking, we can go up in here to the parking lot. Yeah, nothing else. Wait to see when it goes on sale. Now there's a lot of DLCs that you can get for, like, there's a rims and tires DLC, there's like a Ram DLC, Mercedes, different car brand DLCs more or less. I caught them all on sale and just bought them all at one point. I don't remember when. Loading time in this game, it can be a little pain in the butt, but like right now it's just sitting here waiting and waiting and waiting. I haven't been up in here in a while, so I don't know what it even looks like. I got 3 vehicles that I've already completely restored. Yeah, you can do a little more than mechanic, man. You can, once I get that motor together, you can take it out to like a test track and you can test it for to see what's wrong with it. I'm not sure if it comes with all the DLCs in Platinum. I don't know. And honestly, I don't really know. I think it will come with some of them, and then you'll have DLCs you don't have. Now, it normally doesn't take this long. That was 67 bucks, yeah. I'm honestly not sure, man. I'm really not. I don't get why it's not taking me up in here. I had a problem trying to pull. I've got mods in here too, man. I got all kind of modded cars. If you go look through the workshop, there's all kind of crazy cars. A lot of them I got rid of because I want kind of the realistic thing. You know, I want the parts to be in the right place. And like there was a lot of cars that I downloaded. And when you do it through the workshop, you don't have to do anything extra. You just put them in there, it uploads it, and you're ready to go. But there was like a couple of cars that I put that the drive shaft was going like through the middle of the floorboard and stuff. You know, it looked stupid. I'm not sure why it is stuck on this screen, man. This is annoying. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna switch over to, I'm gonna leave my mic on, but I'm gonna throw it on this real quick, and I wanna completely hardcore shut it down. I don't wanna do that. No, I don't. No, it's still stuck on that. I'd hate to lose all the progress I just did, because if I close it, I'm gonna probably lose everything. No, I won't. Close it. I might hard close it, unfortunately. It quit responding. There it goes. So I'll wait for that to you know, it's got a link up to the cloud and everything. That one's a current and progress, and this car here is one that I did. Completely rebuilt it from ground up. That's a Mach 1. I think that's a 70. I'm not sure what year they claimed it to be. And then I also did this one here with a little AC Cobra. So, and I'm gonna... I actually did that one for my father. He always loved those. Yeah, they are, man. The one I was gonna show you is my Bronco. I've got like an old Bronco that... Here's what's crazy with the mods. Okay, so when you go into the shop, you can buy body parts, you can buy the windows and mirrors and the lights and everything that you need. On modded vehicles, those parts are not available in the store. You either gotta repair the parts or you gotta get them from like the junkyard and crap. And it's kind of a pain in the butt to get. So I've got a Bronco that's missing parts and parts that are not correct and whatnot, but it's one of those deals where I go to like junkyards and go get a bunch of parts, and I'll look around specifically for my projects, but a lot of times I just pick up whatever I can fix. So I'm loading back in right now, and I'll have it switch back over. Yeah, there's quite a bit to do on here, man. I tell you what, let's do this. Make sure I can walk. Alright. Let's hit my parking. We're not going to go to my garage, so let's swipe these last two was two that I still got to rebuild. I had this thing full. I had all this almost filled up with cars to rebuild. Let's grab the Mach 1, man. It's a pretty nice car. So what's cool is that, like, I can go back there, I can open the trunk, look inside the trunk. Same way with the doors, the hood. Like, there's the motor, it's all factory. So it's not really a hot rod, but I do have some performance stuff on it. Let's check the stats here. Yeah, it's got a V8 in it, 370 horse. It's not a hot rod, man, but it's, like, see this right here, it says +4, that's an upgraded part. You might not be able to release, oh. Hold on. I'm on the wrong screen, man. Here we go. But like, this is all the stats of everything on the vehicle. It's all 100%. It's all cherry, you know. But yeah, stock motor. You can actually get in them. I can't shut the door from here. You can drive it, you can start it. Probably can't hear it too good. But normal mode. Alright, so let's shut the door. Let's go play on a track. Let's see. Speed track is a drag strip. Okay, let's go to the test track. The test track is kind of fun. That's where you, I think it's just towns. I don't think you can really drive it around anywhere. But the test track is where you'll commonly take vehicles to be repaired. It's part of the tutorial. So, you can go in and out of your camera view. It's only in kilometers an hour. I can't show a mouse or anything. And you got a checklist at the top left, and my logo is blocking it. Hold on a second, man. Let me move that logo real fast. Probably weird seeing me move those around, but there you go. You can see those now. But yeah, this is just a test track, so it's nothing super impressive. So you can actually get to drive some of the stuff you build. Whoa. Ah, guardrail. Good thing there's no damage. and then you end it right here. Yeah, no, I couldn't tell you the number of times I wrecked vehicles. Thank God they don't get damaged from it. But after you hit the test track, it brings you right back to the garage, and it'll give you the stats of how your vehicle's doing, or the vehicle that you're testing. You can take customers' cars and test them too. So this is all it examined, which was basically brakes and, clutch and things like that. So, but I'll tell you what, let's do something else. Do something I've never done this before. Let's go out to the abandoned airport. I've never been to the abandoned airport, so this will be kind of a fun experience. I wasn't sure how well you could hear the motor on that, but it does sound pretty good. I think the other car, the Shelby, the Cobra, I think it's a little bit faster. So let's see here. So what is this place? Crunch. I wonder if I could jump something out here. The way these containers are angled and stuff, that'd be cool. Yeah, man, 220 clicks right there. I wish it was in miles per hour. I wonder what this thing is right here that's blocked off. Whoa. I don't think you can go in there. Hit the handbrake that time. Yep. I can't move my mouse and like pan around or anything like that, so I can only just look forward. Let's do something a little fun. Let's do a handbrake again. It kind of does donuts. I know I'm going way over what I was originally going to do here. Oh, that didn't work to my advantage. Yeah, this is my first time in this airport, man, so I'm kind of having a little too much fun here. Alright, so let's go back to the garage. And the other thing, I've only done this a couple of times, is the dyno. So you can get pretty accurate dyno stats, more or less. There's only one walking speed. You can't walk any faster than this. Alright, so I'm guessing Do the dyno. I can't remember how I do this other than hit this button. Oh, I don't do anything. $382 horses hit 5,050 RPMs. I guess that's it. But yeah. Alright, let's put that back in the garage. Our parking garage. Let's see here. Yeah, I've also got, this one wasn't in my pictures, I'll bring it in here. I'm probably gonna put it in the main entrance. Oh, I put it right here. But I did this one for my mom. She had one of these before I was born. Light in here doesn't do the greatest for it, does it? Good old baby blue, man. Can't look around a whole lot, but you can look around a little bit. Oh, this one? I don't think this one has much of an impressive motor in it, if I remember right. What does this one got? Oh, it does have a V8. Did I hop this one out, maybe? No, not really. I didn't go all out on this one. I think I left this one fairly stock for her. And let's put that back up. I'll grab the Cobra. The only thing I wanted to do to this one is I might go see if I can add the blue Shelby stripes to it. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I did this all out, man. This has got all the hot rod parts on it, man. It's got all the hot rod parts. Well, everything that I could find for hot rod, that is. Factory engine, 4 horsepower is 306. Let's see what she dynos out to. Oh yeah, an old Chevelle or an old Mustang. I like the old stuff, man. Look at that, dude. 564 horses. Let's go race it. No oil. It just did a dyno, but there's no engine in the oil. What the hell? Does that make any sense to you? Not the best angle for oil. It's a dipstick. You can even check the oil on these, man. Yeah, that's good enough. My first vehicle was an '87 Ford Ranger, man. There we go. Do I get like a green light or what? Come on, wait for the tree to work. I can't remember if it works. Yeah, my first one was an '87 Ranger. Then I had a '87 Jimmy S15 Blazer. Or, yeah, basically it's a little Blazer. And then I had my next one was a 85 short wide box Chevy with a 305 in it. Oh, I had to hit the throttle. See how bad this thing is. Oh, that's it, man. We're hitting the limiter. 255 clicks. Whoa. And I have no control of that right there, man. I have no control. Holy crap. Top speed was 257 clicks, 0 to 50 in 1.481. Be nice if it did like quarter mile and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, it would be insane. But yeah, my first hot rod was a 91 Mustang. It was a hatchback. That car was a lot of fun. I actually was gonna build an 87 one time. Had I think it was an 87 or 86 or something like that. And I was gonna build it and turn it into one hell of a hot rod. Alright. So let's go back to work. Still got notes up here. Nope, we're gonna add that to our list. Need a belt. I'm pretty sure that's also the belt we're gonna need. I know that's the other one. But yeah, when it comes to the part shop, man, this is all your parts. Like you can buy custom rims. As you can see, these are rims DLC, but you can buy any kind of wheel you want and put on a car. They'll all bolt up. And when you buy them, you can do different sizes. Same thing with the tires. You can buy all these different tires here. And the tune shop, man, this is all your hot rod parts. Mostly engine stuff. I mean, plus, you know, 1.5% horse right there, just on that alternator. You got, I mean, it goes through everything, dude. You can get all kind of crazy stuff in here. And then you can do customized license plates. I usually do like Florida plates. So I usually do that one. There's actually a couple of them in here. I've got a modded deal in here for plates. So you can get all kind of different weird plates. Let's see. There's Oklahoma for you, man. Let me see. Okay. Let's see what. I got 2 different Oklahoma plates. I got those 2. Let's see. You can get body parts that are tuned, like hot rod, kind of like hot rod stuff looking. I mean, there's all kind of stuff in here. Custom gearboxes. Interiors. All kind of different interiors you can pick from. You gotta watch, some of them won't fit in each vehicle, but then you got import parts. Wait a minute, imports. Hold on a second, man. Hold up. Whoa, my keyboard's messing up. What do you know, man? Like, there's the windshield for my Bronco. I did not realize that I could buy the parts here. Holy shit. Now I want to get that Bronco in here and fix it. But I think that's what caused my issue earlier, was the Bronco. I think there might be something wrong with the mod. Yeah, man, you might be able to learn quite a bit. You won't learn every single thing. we're only here buying parts. Get our belts on here, and then we're gonna need a fan. I just didn't know which fan I'm gonna need. Yeah, it's kind of going, it's a hassle when you got to go through and actually do a build, or like this car here didn't have all the parts on it, because then you got to figure out what parts it needs. But this motor is complete, as far as I can tell. Actually, let's throw the drive shaft on it, because we can test this car too. And basically, like looking at the vehicle, you see how rusty this rear end is, man. That pretty much right there tells you that's probably gonna need to be replaced. They use kind of like a rust texture, you know, to determine damage and stuff like that, or how much it's wore out. So, cannot start engine. What am I missing? Oh, hold on. Move car. No. Give me a second here. Wonder why we can't start the engine. We got a starter. Did I forget to put something on under here? What the heck? Everything's here. Oh, wait a minute. I think I need to put a fuel pump in this thing. That's what it needs. That's what I was talking about, man. You gotta have everything just peachy keen. Oh. Learning how to move in here can be a pain sometimes. Need a fuel pump. See how much quicker it loaded that time? The longer you stay in the game, the slower this warehouse loads. But it doesn't help when you got a crap ton of parts in there, man. Alright. I'm just gonna search. So there's that fuel pump we took off, it's junk. Grab two. Sometimes you don't repair these all the way. You'll break them when you repair them. And we repaired it. I was supposed to repair the other one while we're there. Alright, move car to test path. Oh, we didn't put oil on this one, we put oil on the other one. Well, no wonder it doesn't start. Starting to look like a rookie doing this, man. You can actually sit here and hold this thing until it starts to just overflow oil. Watch. It'll start to overflow right there on the bottom of that funnel. See? But it's full. Full of oil. Customer's not going to get cheated on that one. There we go. Now we go in the test path. Act like it didn't want to start. So this here, all you're doing is testing the brakes. That's tested the front brakes. And that tests the back brakes. You got to hold the brakes down for it. And then 2 more stops is testing front suspension, then rear suspension. And it will clunk it around. Check that out. Clunk, clunk, clunk. And then that right there completes the test, and it helps you find more broken stuff that you don't know about. So like everything right here in red, we got to replace on the suspension and brakes, and that's what we know of. And like on the status here, we got one part, we got a bunch of parts we haven't discovered yet. Oil change is done, but all the motor stuff is done. All the motor stuff was mostly down here. So like I said, man, it can keep you occupied for a while. This one had a whole bunch of stuff to do on it. So we got brakes to do, and I know exhaust. And what I do a lot of times, just to make it simpler, like on the suspension, I'll either do like the whole front end or the whole rear end, or maybe just one corner at a time. That way you don't get confused on what parts go where that you took off. Nah, this is a pretty cool game, man. It can get boring after a while. I mean, any game can. But it's got a lot of realistic points to it. So, like these little bushings right here, that one's 62%, so I know it's okay. But you got to check for those too, because that right there will be one thing that will throw you off bigger than crap. Sometimes you don't discover how good a part is until you actually take it off. And I'm just kind of cheating, grabbing parts as I find a mouse on wheel on it. But like, see, this steering rack is 62%. I don't know about that there. Gotta pull the outer rods. But see, I'll try to do just one corner at a time, fix everything, and then go to the next corner. I just kind of do it in steps, you know. I hear you, Spider. Yeah, that's no battery cables, man. I don't know what they did with them. I'm gonna bet money that was parts okay. So what do we got in here? Oh, I know one thing this thing needed was tires. Separate those, and while it's doing that, split those off the rim. Oh, you do, Spider? Yeah, I didn't buy this game until it was on sale because I honestly didn't know if I'd like it or not. And then I liked it, and then I waited for all the DLCs to go on sale and just bought the DLCs while they were on sale. No point in paying full price if you don't have to. It's definitely a different game, man. So now that you know you owned it, do you think you even played it at all, Spider? Oh, okay. Well, you kind of seen what it's about, but here's the thing: when you start, you only get with this lifter and that one door that I'm got the thing pointed at. Over time, you expand this garage to get all this on this side. Other than the, this is a warehouse. This is like a storage area. Oh, okay. Well, here you go, Spider. We've all been laughing about this. What do you think about this computer, man? Think we could play anything on it? I don't even think Farm Sim could run on that little bastard. I think a Tandy computer is newer than that, isn't it? Oh, you have 22 minutes on the game. Hey, you might have got bored with it, man. Some people buy this game and they're like, oh man, this sucks. What the hell was I doing? Oh yeah. I was pretending I know how to fix crap. Yeah, it does. Oh. Yeah, it's some of it's a little lame, that's for sure. Alright, I know I have calipers. Let's see what else is in here that I might have. I only got a caliper. Well, we can grab a caliper and fix it to be pretty. This is one of those story mode jobs, so everything you replace that they want you to replace has to be 100%, so I know I don't have everything, you know, that it needs in 100%. I need to write that tire size down. I think I got enough room on that notepad. It'll tell you that you need a race tire B, but it won't tell you what size when you go to buy the stupid thing. 65/17s. I sound like I work in a tire shop somewhere. Let's go ahead and grab our parts, grab our tire last. Some pads. I think I might have to get a new keyboard. It keeps double putting letters up for me. Wait a minute. Oh, I need that too. Wait a minute. I don't need clutch parts. Do I? I thought I already changed all those. It wouldn't have drove without the transmission. Damn tire did it have? Race tire B. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm gonna go ahead and buy 4. I'm gonna need to replace all 4 anyways. Size 17. Oh. I always want to type that. You can't type it. We'll have all the tires we need when we go to do the rest of the tires. Fun part, bolting it all back together. And this is only one corner I gotta do. I gotta do all 4 corners, and it looks like I gotta do exhaust. Looks pretty damn rusty to me. I wouldn't call it good quality. Oh, that's one corner. Before I screw up and buy more clutch parts. Bushings again. No, I do not want to take the damn oil pan off. I already got oil in it. Caliper, brake pad. Well, that was all it needed on the freaking front end. Shit. Wish it would tell you where the exact part is, other than, well, there's several ways to do it. I could have done the other way. No, don't sell it. Keep it. I do got to break this one tire down. And I might be going a little bit fast here. I'm used to just kind of getting into a roll, you know. Faster still ain't done. If only I could do a car this quick in real life. You know, repair it, not anything weird. Before Spider makes a comment. And I don't mind you giving me shit, man. Doesn't bother me a bit. As long as I know you're joking, I'm cool with it. I'm a little too fat and lazy to be on a NASCAR crew, man. Way too many snacks. Alright, we're gonna have to just do this whole ass end because we gotta put a rear end in this thing. From the looks of it, the whole thing needs to be replaced anyways, just about. Take too long to drop that. Not one damn thing I can fix off of that. Shit. Well, I think I got most of those parts in my warehouse. Better, I'll tell you another issue with this game, and from what I've read, it just seems to be everybody. The longer you're on the game and the more crap you have in this warehouse, the slower it is at loading the damn warehouse. It's like every time you go to the warehouse, it gets slower and slower. That's really my only complaint with it so far. Further enough down. Whoa. Shit, I've got too much crap in here. Maybe I ought to have a yard sale in this game. did wheel cylinders. Shit. So I broke a leaf spring, looks like. Crap. You gotta figure I've got all my levels maxed out and it still breaks crap. Just not as much as it used to. In the beginning, you hardly ever fixed anything. You try to fix it, then you'd break it and you make it worse than you started. Sorry, I had to fill my drink back up. You can't fix drums, you can't fix brake shoes. Oh wait a minute, yeah, you can't fix shoes. If that makes any sense. You can't repair brake pads. But you can on the shoes. And I always remember going and turning drums. Drums and rotors. Go get the leaf spring. Hopefully that'll be everything we can fix. Spider, did you stream it all today? I didn't see you stream, or at least if you did, I missed it. Okay, I kind of figured so. I know you said something about you wasn't going to, but I wasn't for sure. I'm sure you did a little run tonight, off camera. Oh yeah. Gotta take that day to yourself, huh? Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to stream today or myself, but had a request for this one for people to see it, so I figured why not. It's definitely a different game, that's for sure. Pretty slow paced in a way. I know one thing I forgot to do. Forgot to mount those new tires. Actually, I almost forgot. that on. Sorry, I'm just not catching up in chat. Got a little carried away. Yeah, I know you said you was going to do a schedule. You wasn't wanting to, but you decided to. Alright, yeah. I think I'm going to probably finish this car up, and then when I get done with it, I might end the stream, and I might do a run or two on ATS. We'll see. Holy shit. That's a crap ton of damn miles, man. I like playing the game, I'm not gonna lie, man, but damn, I don't know if I could do that many a day. Yeah, no kidding, man. Yeah, that's a crap ton of miles. That's a lot of runs. That's a full day of driving right there. Damn, you got that many miles? I didn't realize that. I don't think I've got nowhere near that. Maybe 15,000? I'll have to go look at my standings later. See where I'm at. I missed a part. Where the fuck was that one at? Oh. Didn't do exhaust. Yep. Okay, I'll check if you sent me one. I'll get it here when I get done with this stream. making sure I was caught up on chat. Come on. Here we go. Alright, now did we get everything? Yes. Except the body parts. Shit. Might as well just make a damn list. I'm gonna damn near rebuild this whole thing by the time it's over with. Alright, Spider, I'll catch you later, man. Have fun on your run. There's the front bumper. Tail lights. Rear bumper. Another tail light. Headlights. What else am I missing here? Door windows. Not much of a window. I don't know if I can repair any of that or not. Probably the bumpers. Nope. Can't repair shit. Oh wow, I didn't realize I had that many miles though. That's cool though. Alright, let's go bolt this all back up. This is the pain in the ass part. If you get too far from the car, you gotta do that assemble mode again. But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Whoa, I didn't buy a bumper, did I? I bought a bumper. I think I was concentrating more on just the lights than anything else. Got all the body parts, got new oil. Now we gotta paint it. To the paint booth. I got a text or something. Yeah, I hear you, man. I'll catch that message in a little bit. Alright, so what kind of paint did they want? Stock color. So this is pretty cool, man. If you're doing your own custom build now, if you're rebuilding cars to sell them, you'll make more money if you go with factory paint. but you can do all kind of crazy stuff. So we're gonna play for a second here, but you can adjust the brightness of a color. I think it was about there. I'm trying to remember what this was. See, I think this is saturation. So you can make it pretty wild. And then I can't see it, I can't read the text on that, but you can see how it does that kind of stuff. You can go metallic paint or matte, pearl, chameleon, chrome, and then you can add, say like those stripes. That's what I was going to add to my my car. Alright, so we're going to go factory paint, squirt some paint on it. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Sadly, it still looks like shit. If the customer wanted the car to look good, he would have had me replace the rest of this crap. But for that right there, dude, look at that. Almost $40,000 to do that one order right there. And they don't pay that good starting out, but as you go along, they start really paying good. So that right there, man, that put me over $1 million bucks. So, and what's nice about that is that gives me money to dump into my projects and then sell them. And you make decent profit on those. You can sell them or you can auction them. Now the fog was from while it was painting. It was giving you like that mist spray effect. But I think what I'm gonna do, I think we're gonna shut her down on this one here. Maybe go over and do some ATS. Maybe next time I come in here to play this, we'll rebuild this old girl, because this car is sitting. Only thing I did was I hit it with the welder. That's why this looks brighter. The fender's still like garbage, and the interior's nice and clean because I hit the interior cleaner. But that's it. It needs body work. I mean, this motor's in shambles. I mean, look at that. Just like out of a junkyard. The missing crap. I didn't take anything off this. This is as it was when I got it. So, and I can't remember where I got it at, but yeah, I'll probably do another one on this. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of these. This is going to be quite boring to everybody, but I'm going to do them here and there. What I might do is, especially considering there really ain't a calling and streaming this, maybe there is, just not tonight. But if there doesn't seem to be a big calling and streaming it, I might just record it. I'll throw it on my YouTube. You can always go to my YouTube and check them out there. All the streams that I do end up going on YouTube for right now. That's kind of one of the reasons for the basic music and stuff. And I just realized I never put my logo back where it belongs. But that one can stay there. It's hard to pick a place to put all those, man. It really is. So, but yeah, I think next time, the next stream, I'm gonna take care of that one and get that one done and over with and get it out of the garage. I'm getting tired of looking at it. So I'm gonna throw that screen up there